Just chunks.
Yeah. Delete all the
Thank you, Lola.
the other stuff.
I just undid it. So like it's like it never happened.
Damn.
It's like I have one of the Infinity Stones.
Let's go going back now.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. All right.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 amigos right here.
3 amigos.
Do.
There he is. There's the third one.
Wesley.
Oh shit. I'm getting a.
Wesley Kane. Listen to mother. Do I have to get up?
This is gonna really be a detriment to the podcast.
This is not gonna make it.
My kid's already in bed.
This this footage is not gonna make it to the podcast, and hopefully, my voice isn't coming out of the speakers.
Nobody wants to
I would
hear
hope
you
not.
Ah.
Wesley, if you can hear my voice, drop the left and swing with the right.
Something like a butterfly, more like a bee.
I just love that Family Guy episode. Come fight my wife. She floats like a butterfly and stings like when I pee. There you go, Tim.
Holy shit.
It worked.
Oh my goodness. What's
I've
happening?
often considered that Airheads thing where like Joe Montana is like trying to drink Pepto-Bismol in the beer and he just like at one point just starts pouring Pepto-Bismol into his beer.
We were talking about Airheads earlier today.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yep. Welcome back to another episode of B&B Banter Bros Goes to the Movies. I am your host, Timothy Bennett, and with me is Aram Crippled Banyan
Howdy ho. Down one
and
toe.
Jason Lazy Ass Chandler.
That's me.
Sleep his
I mean,
life
that's
away.
me. I do.
I had a
Christ.
really good rhyme in there and I think it got overshadowed by you introducing Jason and I'm really sad about it now.
Oh.
So it was like, howdy ho, down one toe.
Oh, yeah.
Howdy ho, down one toe.
Yep. He's soon going to be a part of the
Catchy.
Cripple Club.
Catch me through.
And get my own handicap sticker.
He's gonna be a $6 million man. Fucking reinvented.
Oh,
New
no.
toes.
Maybe 60.
It was a $6
bucks.
man. Let's be honest.
Some gum, some tape,
$650.
maybe a sock. We'll call it good.
Robot chicken trip.
Not even super glue or duct tape.
The
Apparently.
robot
No,
chicken
that's
clip,
just like
the
12 bucks,
The 6
man.
million peso man.
I got to get paid for the work too, so.
Yeah. All back alleys and van operation.
Hey, whatever works.
Well, there's some gum right
All
there.
Right.
Anybody got scotch tape?
Anything but gum. I think gum is so gross.
All right. So tonight we are going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Volume
Volume 2.
Volume. I like how he does that. I like how James Gunn calls it Volume 2.
Yeah. Because it's a fucking continuation of these characters. It's a growth. It doesn't seem like the
It's
same
also a nod to
format.
the mixtapes.
Yeah. And he uses
Oh,
it for the
yeah,
mixed
yeah.
tapes. Yep. Volume 1, Volume 2.
My mom never got to make volume 3, so we'll see what happens with that.
Oh. Years.
We got,
I just realized.
What?
what's that?
Talking about Guardians
Can't
of the
hold on to
Galaxy,
shit.
I got 2 guys who have 2 dead moms, and
It's true. You should just really congratulate
so-
her on not being dead.
mine.
Yeah. Well,
I'll
no,
text her
not
right
Jason's. I mean,
Yeah.
You just said that both of ours are dead.
All right.
So-
we're going to start crying early on in this episode.
Right.
Right at the end of this movie anyway. Like, I'm fucking on for it, I guess.
Yeah. Did that? Yeah. Okay.
We'll get into that. Arrow,
Yeah.
Yo.
details, please.
All right. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was released in 2017. Has a runtime of 2 hours and 16 minutes. Stars Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper. Both Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper's voices, like if I didn't know that they were starring there, like I wouldn't have known that was them.
Well, especially Vin
Me
Diesel,
too.
because
Yeah,
I am Groot and he's got all the effects and shit like that. But
for sure.
Bradley
Yeah.
Cooper, I can hear.
Bradley Cooper's the one that's like only a word or two. I'm like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, it's him.
Michael Rooker is in this movie as well.
And every other James
of
Gunn
course.
film.
Yeah,
James Gunn's brother Sean Gunn is in this movie.
Which is,
quite a bit,
He's
right?
a lot
yeah,
of stuff.
he's more in this one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's prominent
Yeah.
more in this one. He does a really good job.
does.
If he's the character,
Yeah, he's
thinking.
Kraglin.
Yep.
He's the guy that
Yeah,
follows.
he's Yondu's follower.
Yondu.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh yeah, okay.
But
cool. Yeah, I really like that guy.
yeah, he's a good actor. He's a good bit player. He's in so much shit. We also have Karen Gillan.
Gillen.
Yeah, I like that.
She was in
yeah.
Bubble that just recently came out like a couple months ago.
She's in another show, and I
Jumanji.
keep seeing ads for it about her and a clone. I see ads for it on Facebook. I can't remember what it's called anymore. It doesn't matter. Sylvester Stallone makes a pretty prominent guest spot, I guess, in this movie.
Yep.
Kurt Russell is in it.
Yep.
I think those are really the big.
Chris Sullivan,
Yeah.
who plays Taserface, he's in This Is Us. He plays
Okay,
a
I've
big
never
role in
watched the
This
show,
Is Us.
so
It's great. It's a great drama. But he
think
plays,
Tommy Flanagan's in it. That's the guy from Sons of Anarchy and a bunch of other shit.
yeah, but he's only in it
Yeah.
for like 3 scenes, and then that's
And then and then they send him to space. There's a couple other like random small parts, like Ben Browder, who was from.
Is Flea in this film?
No, I know the guy you're talking about. He's not Flea, but he's the
Okay.
guy that plays Cheddar Bob in 8 Mile.
Okay. Oh, yep.
I don't know why that's how I remember him, but like that's how I remember him.
He has a
No,
yeah. He
it's
had no
okay.
hair or something, so he was very.
Yeah, he looks a
Flea.
lot like Flea.
I think when I see that guy in anything, I always think of Book of Eli.
Oh shit! I haven't seen that
I'll
movie
say,
long
yeah,
enough
it's
to
been a
know what
bit
you're
since I saw it, so I don't remember him.
Oh, well,
talking about.
he's the Book of Eli.
I should,
But yeah, I always thought what's
All
funny
right.
was I noticed that Ben Browder is in this. He's the main guy from Farscape. He is the lead gold. Can't remember the Sovereign. He's like the leader of the Sovereign, like besides the lady. But he was the main guy from Farscape.
Oh,
That's what I remember him from.
yeah.
Can't remember what his name is in the Farscape movies or show, but
what else do we got?
hold on, I gotta get down to it. All the fucking numbers are down at the bottom of the screen.
This is directed by.
By James Gunn. Did I miss that? I thought I said
Yes.
that it was directed by James Gunn.
Oh, well, maybe I was ignoring
Maybe
you.
I might have missed it.
I don't know.
But yeah, directed by James Gunn. So hence
And
why.
written primarily by James Gunn too.
Is it?
That's the special thing about James Gunn, is he has a hand in writing most of everything he's directed. So
Dan Abnett is one of the creators from the comics, but I feel like Dan Abnett's also a prolific writer. Like I feel like I've seen his name in, like on books in like Barnes and Noble and shit like that. I'd have to like really look into him, but he's credited as one of the creators of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
that's cool.
Oh,
So yeah, it was released box office. So it had a estimated budget of $200 million.
This came out on my birthday.
Oh, so right. All right. Well,
It did.
happy
opening
birthday!
weekend.
It came out on May 5th, 2017. I remember watching this on my birthday.
Jason, just don't acknowledge when you just shit like that. And then like I'm just
Well,
gonna
that's
steamroll over him.
awesome. The tone of this movie is glamorous, like a fucking birthday present that you really
No, it's
want.
not.
It's so shiny and gold. This whole
Sparkly,
movie.
bright colors.
Okay, it looks
Yeah,
shiny,
it's so
but it is
bright.
filled with so much family drama.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But the appearance of it, the color scheme, and like It's misleading on purpose.
It's like a Jack in the Box. Looks cool, and then like it pops open. Like, oh god, nightmares.
It is like a Drax in the box.
His fucking laugh though. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, I was reading some James Gunn heard him laugh because this guy's like a monotone.
Yeah, he's a
person,
professional
whatever.
wrestler. He's very monotone all the time.
Yeah, and then James Gunn heard him laugh like authentically once. He was like, "Yeah, do that louder." Like exaggerate the shit out of that right there, and that's where that laugh came from.
Oh, you did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It was
Because
very obnoxious.
It's infectious. It's obnoxious, but it makes you laugh by the time it stops.
Yep.
At least once you laugh. Right.
So opening week. So estimated budget is $200 million. Opening weekend, it made $146.5 million domestic. So it almost made its money back
Not bad.
that weekend.
Yep, not bad at all.
Whoa, so
Domestic gross.
that's how. I was gonna say that's how it's done, Foo Fighters.
Gross domestically, it made $390 million domestic overall. So it did almost a 200% return, just domestic.
Oh,
Worldwide, it made $864 million.
Yeah, damn.
goddamn.
Yeah, it succeeded.
Yeah, for sure. And like rightfully so, considering the way the first
As
one
it
was.
should. Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And okay, so are we done with the numbers?
I think so.
So yeah, it was. Aaron, when did you see this movie for the first time in theaters?
I didn't see it in theaters. That's for damn sure.
Me neither. I don't think I did. That we know, Birthday Boy did.
Yeah, obviously.
But when I first saw it, I don't know, I didn't care. Or I mean, I thought it was funny. I thought it was bright and goldish, and then yeah, it was something about it I didn't like connect with and pay much attention to the first time around. So I think rewatching it for this episode, I've only seen it twice.
Yeah, me too, probably.
And
I think this is probably my maybe fifth time.
I was curious how you guys felt on the first time you guys watched it.
I was kind of the same way with you. Like when I first watched it in theaters, I was like, I enjoyed it. It was good. It's hard for me to not like it. I mean, it had the funny, the comedy, stuff, the action. It was entertaining, colorful.
Didn't connect with it for some reason. The story.
It's like the first half of it, I really was like, oh, I was all in, and then I remember feeling a little disappointed.
Yep.
Like when they get to the planet and whatever. It's like I disconnected myself, but.
Yeah, everything looked like a Destiny video game. The
Oh,
video
yeah.
game Destiny
Yep,
to me.
for sure.
The spaceships, all that shit.
But I will say that watching it over the years, I still felt that way until I watched it last night. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I'm complete all in. Aaron, how'd you feel?
I thought it was. I think this boils down to my not hatred, but I just not really engaging in sci-fi. So I think that's the one hiccup I have with this movie.
If there's a Hobbit in here, he would be all over this.
Probably, yeah. Like if it was more,
Can't you just pretend Rocket being a Hobbit? He's hairy enough.
This is a funny episode of a Star Trek, like fucking early Star Trek.
But yeah, I mean, I
get that, the sci-fi.
watching it again tonight, I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I thought the more emotional content was actually very interesting in juxtaposition to all the spaceship fighting and the blaster stuff. Like all that stuff was cool to watch and well done. But I thought the familial stuff or like the family drama of the whole thing was very interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a lot to do with being better than your rival or winning and losing or something like that.
It was family drama. It was sibling rivalries and accepting your father
but bettering your sibling. Like,
so no,
I don't know, that weird back and forth between the sisters.
It's about family, but it's about it's a bunch of people who don't have their real blood family finding family outside of their blood and not realizing that that family outside the blood was all they need.
Yeah.
So when you had that, you know, it's like the
So
adopted
they
family
found
that they go,
family
that's
within
stronger than
friends.
than blood.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Comes down to the
And-
family
but
and
then
blood thing.
Yep.
So they connected with their friends as a family, and then they found their real family and gave that a shot. It turns out the friends are better of a family than their real blood.
At least for Star-Lord, because he's the only one that's met his real
Yeah.
family. But you have
same
Gamora
with-
and Nebula.
Yep.
They were,
They were raised together, but they're not blood.
yeah.
Like it's a different sort of dynamic.
And they both hate their father, Thanos. They want to fucking take him
Yeah.
down.
Once again, not
they know
blood.
It's damn near impossible. Yeah.
But they realized, in this one at least, that it had to do with they should have been there for each other.
Yeah.
And mainly Gamora opening up and saying, hey, I should have been a sister to you. You are a sister to me, but I should have been a sister to
Yeah,
you.
I shouldn't have been such a self-centered
Af-
bitch.
Oh my god! But after so many fucking petty arguments and this silly fucking tantrum spaceship like attack by Nebula or
Yeah.
whatever, that whole fight scene was so childish.
It was.
It had me laughing my ass off. She was just like
The ending
Especially
was
when
just
she's like,
I beat you. I busted
psycho.
you in combat.
was-
I saved your life.
there was no strategy behind the attack. It was all temper tantrum, and then that all came to a crashing halt. And then up right away, they're like, "Yeah, we're fucking dumb. We need to work together."
What are you going to do with all
But
the credits?
She was so annoying up until that moment.
Yeah.
I'm going to hunt down Thanos and kill him.
And then-
I was thinking more
and
like
buy
a
a
hat
warship
or
with all
a
the
necklace.
instruments of death I can. I was just thinking like a hat or like a necklace.
You know?
Oh yeah, I did learn something about Gamora's sister's story though. Like every time she lost a fight with her sister, Thanos replaced a piece of her body with robot shit.
Yep.
To make her better.
That's what
To make her more like
I didn't
Gamora.
know
To make
that.
her as equivalent as possible.
No,
to
yeah,
Gamora.
that's some sick and twisted shit actually.
But if you look at who
That's
Thanos
fucked
is,
up.
like the way that logically, you understand.
Don't justify it.
I'll play devil's advocate all day.
No, I'm just saying it was pretty cool. I didn't know
Yeah.
that part of that character's backstory.
Yeah,
at
it
all
definitely fleshes
until
out
this
Nebula
time
a little
around.
bit more in this movie.
That
Yeah, you
yeah.
gain a sense of sympathy for her. Like you really do feel bad for her.
She's the introduction part of this movie for upcoming films. Like you really get to know her shit. You like connect with her on these future movies, emotional. Yeah. So that's the way I saw it.
So we kind of been diving into the story, the overall story of this.
Yeah.
How'd you like it?
Yeah.
Did you find
I
it
was back and forth on it
okay? Explain.
because there's pieces of it that's good, like the team building. Like there's still butting heads, but they have a better, deeper connection. They worked well together. There's no questions there as a team, and they are the Guardians of the Galaxy now. And that story, and whether how upfront it was told or not, I like that. Daddy issues and the celestial thing and the planet and the sister. I don't know. Somebody else talk. 'Cause that's all I really liked was the team building.
Okay.
I mean-
so you just like the idea that people grew closer.
Yeah.
I was in for 90% of the movie. I really didn't care for. I got why it was there in respect to the story and moving the plot along, but I didn't care for the whole Ravager revolt thing where they kidnap the idea. Like, but I get what it was for and why they did it. I just didn't care for it. Like, it didn't really add anything to the story for me. But like I say, I get it as a vehicle and to move the plot forward. Totally understood it. So I wouldn't take it out. It wasn't my favorite part of the movie.
Okay. I could kind of see why you went. Because it really didn't have anything to do with the overall picture.
It was more
was just,
family
keep
drama,
it-
but it was like separate from everything else, so it didn't matter the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that.
So yeah,
I liked it. I liked the revolt and stuff, but I could see what you're saying. Yep. It was a separate family, and it really, but it did help Yondu.
Yeah, it fleshed him out a little bit more too.
Open his vulnerability up to.
It put some depth to his character for sure. And like I say, I got that part. And I know why they did it. It just didn't. The whole revolt part didn't do much for me.
Yeah.
You guys talking about Xander's mutiny?
Mean Yondu?
Or, towards him.
Xander?
That's what they call
Taser face?
I think the Xander or something or other is what Gamora
Scrotum
refers to
face?
David Hasselhoff as.
I thought that was a dragging moment too, but I knew why it was there. Yeah. So you didn't like Sylvester Stallone?
But I'll give the Sylvester Stallone bit, like I actually enjoyed, especially once you see the end of the movie, you see kind of what happens from there. And that part I got. It was the whole like the ship turning against him and like, and everybody
taser face.
Oh,
taser
absolutely.
face throwing his like supporters out into space and stuff like that. That part didn't do much for me.
I completely get it.
But yeah, that beginning part with Sylvester
but,
Stallone, especially once you see the ending, that part I got and I enjoyed. Because it definitely fleshed out Yondu's character a degree.
Yeah, and which they had to do for the... Yeah, I'm sure you already explained while I was away.
Well, Yondu's...
But yeah, when I watched this... What?
Finish.
I just... last time I watched this movie, I wasn't paying much attention. I saw Sylvester Stallone, and I just thought he was Judge Dredd.
I am the law.
I always thought it was Judge Dredd, and then I was corrected.
I was like, what's his name? Strakar?
Just Stalker.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the real shit.
I liked how there was a resistance, and you understood why there was a resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Yondu know what he did was more of like misleading,
Right.
But he was outcasted from the scavengers and or Ravengers. That's what they were.
Ravengers, yeah.
And he's, I don't know, like when you see him in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, he's like this tough brute kind of, whatever, his own rule kind of thing. You wouldn't question that he wouldn't stab you in the eye and he has no loyalty to anything. You really kind of believe it. He's a pirate.
Yeah.
But in this one, this is a sense of like, you get a little more in depth, and I really like the backstory. You get a little bit more of him. Part of it, I think I really liked it just because you didn't expect it. Like, it didn't really hold much to the rest of the story other than towards the end.
Well, but they could have done that without the raising Peter Quill conversation with Kurt Russell. I almost said Russell Crowe
Again.
Anyways, I don't know. Let's move on from this fucking part of the movie we don't like so much.
Oh, I like it.
Tim, what you like this movie?
Yeah.
This story, whatever the fuck your question was for us.
I don't remember what my question was.
I know, right?
I think I just asked if the story arc.
But Aram's 80%.
90.
Like the team.
You're not even listening.
He was up getting stuff for his kid. I don't know.
Yeah. I got interrupted by my seed.
Speaking of seeds, ego.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's talk about ego since you
Segues
mentioned.
are hard.
How'd you like Kurt Russell?
I did fine.
Aram's like, nope.
No, So I go back and forth on Kurt Russell. I liked his acting. I thought he did well. I don't know if I liked the writing for him. Like,
explain.
The lines that he used seemed, and maybe I'm not looking at it right. Maybe they just seemed very grandiose for no reason.
I felt the reason was to make him look like a spoiled brat.
He just talked.
Like he was on his own and with no support system, and he was ignorant in that way, where he was just kind of like, I've been by myself for too long, so this is how stupid
He
I
just
sounded.
talked very theatrically from
egotistical.
what I could tell. Like very
Yeah.
theatrically, and it just
It was all a performance, like his whole planet, him.
and like I say, maybe I'm just
The way
looking
I
at
saw
it the
it.
wrong way. I just didn't like
Right.
the
No, I
theatrics
get
of the
it.
way he spoke, especially when you realize that he's interacted with all these different cultures. He didn't have to talk this way, but he did it
Yeah.
anyway, and it was just. There were parts where I was just like, "This just seems over the top for no reason."
Didn't he confess that he was doing some kind of performance to win over Peter's favor?
Well, yeah, he does
you know?
that for everybody.
So he was maybe I know,
Well,
but maybe
but
he was
Peter's
having
mom-
a different
What was her name?
performance per
Miranda?
person.
Meredith.
Meredith. I knew it was her name.
Oh, so close.
Peter's
the Batman
mom,
and Superman.
he admitted she was the only one that he ever loved.
Yeah.
Like, she was the one that he actually fell in love with out of the
Yeah,
trillions of
River
whatever
Lady.
people.
Yeah.
So,
Fucking talk about man flooding.
the
Killed
biggest
me. Had to
whore
put
out
that
there.
tumor in her head.
Right.
And so I agree with what you're saying, Jason, is that it's all theatrics because he is putting on a show, except for Meredith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Meredith. Meredith?
Yeah. Meredith.
Okay, yeah, Meredith. So I think the way that I view it, because I know what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, Aram, about the theatrics, and it seemed
Yeah.
almost over the top. Like
over
it's
the- Yep.
like, why are you doing this, or why are you
Yeah.
acting this way? But if you look at it as the fact that he is almost, I mean, he's a god, little g.
Right.
He's a celestial.
feeling as
He's
humble
all
as
power. You almost got to look at like what he's doing is just he's way above this, but he knows this is what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Ah.
You know,
He's got
so it's like
conviction.
He doesn't want to be alone, so he's
no, it's not even about being alone. It's spreading himself. He's literally trying to spread his seed across the universe to be all. He wants to be everywhere. And so in this case,
Fucking
this is like a
Old
petty
Dirty
thing on
Bastard
him.
should have
Like,
played this role.
it's like him having to do charity work and then being up in an ivory tower. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is below me, but I got to do it because I get a tax write-off. So that's the way I looked at it, because he has no true connection to what he's saying. There's no conviction.
That's valid.
It's
I like
it's
that.
like a script
I like
that he
that.
has to tell himself just to get by.
Yep.
And that's where I thought it was great.
But he's not good at it.
Yeah.
He's not good
And,
at
and,
it.
and
not
looking at it
as
from that
ego.
point, like, yeah, I agree. He did a great
Yeah,
job.
yeah, as ego, but no, his yes. And I could be just trying to find reasons to fix why I don't like his performance because it is annoying.
I'll boil
But
it down.
It'd be great if that was
I'll boil
the
it
case.
down. My biggest issue was when they're having that conversation as he's listening to Brandy, and
Yeah.
Ego is just like explaining, like, and at the same time
You
verbally
and me
monotone
are
quoting the
yeah.
song. Like, I was like, what the fuck is happening right
Yeah.
now? Like, why is this a thing?
Look at it as a higher life form trying to connect with a lower life form.
Right. And that's what I
That's
mean.
the
Like,
way-
maybe I wasn't looking at it in the right spot.
Yeah.
Like, in the right.
Well, maybe it's a form of like adult to baby
Well, yeah,
talk.
it's a
like,
father versus to a
We're
child.
talking to a little kitty.
Yeah, a father to
Like it hurts your teeth. You're just talking to your
it's like
teeth.
me trying to explain what I do here at the podcast to Wesley.
Right.
Jesus.
So, I talk about movies I like this or this.
Yeah.
And then he would go, oh, okay. And then he goes, oh, you talk about that for podcast or that one for podcast? But if I was to explain to him, I get very analytical about the type of the dynamics of the characters, of the story arcs. He wouldn't understand that. So
It's true.
to break it down, to dumb it down,
Yeah.
simplify it. So I think that's what it was as Ego, knowing that he's all intelligent, having to find a relative way to have a conversation with Peter, not as the father, but as Ego playing the father.
Right.
Yeah.
And once
to
once that got over, like once his plan is revealed and he's like he has to shake off all pretense of like nicety, the performance got way better.
yeah, because
Yeah.
you didn't have to hide it anymore. Oh no, you caught me.
shucks. Anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
So that, I mean, and other than that, like I loved Kurt Russell in this. I loved the way they addressed Ego the Living Planet as a character. So I mean, I was on board for it. It wasn't Kurt's performance. It was what I felt the writing was. But like I say, the writing might not have been the problem. I just probably wasn't looking at it right.
I mean,
No, you're not. I mean, you're not wrong.
I thought you were just gonna leave me. You're not.
Fuck
you for it.
I thought about it. But you got some tough news I want to add to it.
Bricks in the Grand Canyon at this point, Jason.
Because I love you. And let's talk about the love story in this movie. I like how there's nothing. It's pretty clear between Peter and the Green Lady
Gamora?
that nothing
Green Lady?
physical
Green Lady.
physical has happened, right?
She's basically She-Hulk.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, like it's evident that there is attraction between the two of them, but like she's still like reticent to like act on anything.
And I like that shit.
I like how they did it.
Friends with thoughts.
What are we going to do about
exactly.
this unspoken thing between us?
I love the.
What do you mean
the
unspoken? Well, if you say it, then you're just saying
big
that
thing
it's
about
true.
the Sam and Diane cheersing. Like, I don't know what cheers is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love
And
it. I love that reference.
She had a perfect like drop mic walk away moment. It's like, oh, I thought we were.
Yeah.
Walked
I
away.
finally
was like,
found it for me.
damn.
I thought you already had.
That's some
Yeah.
That's a Diane moment.
Yeah.
in Cheers.
Yeah.
Diane always gets the fucking mic drop
That's,
in those
that's
arguments.
exactly what I thought when I was like, I don't know what Cheers is. Well, you sure the fuck act like it. Like,
Hell yeah.
yep. I know me and Jason have talked about how much we're just huge James Gunn fans now. And so like seeing his
Oh
writing
yeah, and that's
stuff.
a big part of my new why I was locked in, ready to connect with this film and story, and gave it way more attention than I did the first time because I'm a James Gunn fan now, like thick and thin or whatever the fuck. I'm on board
for
too.
James Gunn.
Yep.
So that might,
And I think that
I don't know. I feel like I'm seeing it with fresh eyes, and I'm just like giddy about it.
one of the things that, because you were talking about the love story, so one of the things I've realized about James Gunn is he loves to beat around the bush with the love story, not make it so obvious, but makes it obvious at the same time. So he likes the characters to beat around the bush, but he paints the picture.
Yeah.
Poorly.
But for us, the audience, it's very
poorly.
obvious they're not gonna hook up this movie. So you can like let that thought go very early on.
Yeah.
So he makes that shit obvious, so we can just have fun.
He does a great job at painting that picture awkwardly of these characters poorly, blatantly saying that they like each other. It's genius. Like it's maybe we're just overthinking it. But
It was a fun time.
Did you like the dynamic in this one of the whole group compared to the first one?
Yes.
Compared to the first one, I mean it was an evolution of the dynamic. Like the dynamic just evolved into a more intricate part because you start to see these pieces of the characters that you don't get from the first one, like Drax.
Because they're opening up a little bit
Drax
more than, day by day.
Drax and Rocket especially are growing as characters because you see vulnerable sides of Rocket, especially at the end. And the conversation he has with Yondu. Drax is attempting to, like, he does the little bits like where he plays jokes, even though he's a very monotone guy and he doesn't do humor. He's trying to be joking. He's trying to be jovial and trying to joke with people.
He's trying to be less serious.
Yeah.
It feels like he's finally moving on from his family tragedy from the first film. He's finally, as hard as it is for him to move on, you feel it through that lady with the antennas.
Yep. I was gonna say that was the thing where it's a mask.
See, he's trying.
It's because he's trying to transform himself. He's trying to find a new identity about himself.
Yeah, he's trying to find a way to move on. He's got these new friends that are family, so he's just being weird.
He's letting those feelings
funny.
of familial bond kind of develop, which is growth for him.
Which you said with the Mantis situation when they're sitting on a step or whatever, and like he touches her and he's
yes.
almost one of the most powerful scenes in the film. I mean, there's several.
Yep. That's that
Several.
emotional shit.
But yeah, like
Yep.
he's blank,
Then
and she's like wanting to cry and terrified. I'm like, man,
And
that
she
says
was
it
about
all.
to fucking be like, hey, I need to tell you the truth
Yep.
right now. But then Gamora walked
Yep.
in. But that's how powerful that moment was. She was like, oh my God, I need to tell you
Yeah.
now because I feel your pain and it's so authentic.
Oh,
and,
even
you know,
even before that, when he talks about his daughter to
internal
her,
struggle.
and he's like, "You remind
Yep.
me of her," and she's like, "Was she?"
Yeah,
ugly?" He was
exactly.
like,
And that's
"No,
why-
innocent."
That's why his thoughts were there when she touched him.
I will say that this had some points. This is a lot more serious than her first one.
Yeah,
It had a lot more emotional marks, and they
Yep.
hit. Every
Oh,
single
for
one
sure.
of them landed on me. Like
Yeah.
everything from Yantu,
Mm-hmm.
Rocket, even just Rocket pushing everybody away. You know, and that connection, like
that whole
you could
bit
just
between
feel
Rocket
it.
and Yandu, and Yandu's like, "I know
Oh.
you, I was you, or I am you."
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great.
Or even the Peter Quill moment. He was like, "Are you just trying to fucking make
Yeah.
everybody hate you
because it's working.
because it's
Yeah.
working?" Yeah.
Yep.
Or as somebody else calls him "Are you just a professional asshole?"
Yondu.
Like
That was Yandu. Yep.
Okay,
That's when he gets into the
professional
conversation. Yep.
it's just cool dialogue in this
Yeah.
movie, and
It's very.
gets all the points across with a little. It's always.
Do you know
silly
what's
and
really?
funny
And I mean, this is probably a lot of James Gunn's writing.
and serious?
But I
Yeah.
think what's nice is not to sound pretentious, but the dialogue in this is much more, I don't want to say simple, but more common man versus listening to Tony Stark or Captain America or Thor. And you know, listen to them
yeah.
talk. They talk with gravitas, and they have this higher form of speaking almost because they're speaking because they're more larger than life characters, and these are too. But somehow these characters speak more like plain people as opposed to these big concepts.
I think it's
guess would be
because
the right
of
way to say it.
imagery. It's a
So
it's
this
an
is like the
image.
Roseanne of Marvel.
It's like a title. So you talk about like Tony Stark talking this kind of gravitas, like he talks a lot more intellectual, a little bit more whatever, because he has a title. He has this. I mean, he is that intelligent, but he has a title that he has to perform, like an image that he's identified with.
Right.
This group is a bunch of misfits that came together.
They are blue collar. Is that what
Yeah,
you call them? They're just
essentially.
working class,
And
regular
that's-
average Joes trying to make a
and that's
living.
what I mean,
that
like-
stumbled upon this super
That's
shit.
that's what I mean. Like Tony Stark talks the way he does because of the concept of Iron Man, and he has this level. And the same
Yeah.
thing with Steve Rogers because he's Captain America. Same thing with Thor being a god. All these characters, they talk in these certain ways because of the concept of what they are supposed to embody, and these guys don't have that. And it's just different dialogue, and I think that's really refreshing.
And if you really want to break it down,
Yeah.
it's also because of the culture. It's a very similar culture. So Thor grew up in Asgard. It has a certain amount of hierarchy. It's a kingdom kind of political.
Yeah,
kind
it's a
of,
monarchy.
World. Yeah, and then Captain America and Tony Stark and all that live in America. Same
Mm-hmm.
kind of concepts. But these are people who live on drastic ends of the universe.
Yeah, they're fringe livers.
Yeah.
So like.
They're the equivalent of doomsday preppers.
You got like it's basically like throwing somebody from I don't know Papua New Guinea to Australia to Russia and I don't know one of the Eskimo tribes or something in a room and go, hey, be friends.
This is essentially
Find some common ground.
It's a crew of kitchen workers versus like other comic books are office workers and like cops and stuff
there
like
you
that.
go.
Yeah.
This is just
I like that.
the kitchen
Like-
misfits that are just clumped together.
Hey,
that work well in the midst of chaos.
yeah,
They don't
When they
can't
know what they're
help but
doing.
Work well. Yeah, when
like their skills. They know their
well,
skills at the
and
proper time.
and that's the thing. What I mean, in the midst of chaos, because they seem to be really great at knowing what they're doing when the shit hits the
And
fan.
still-
other than that, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They work. It's phenomenal because they work.
That's why I'm loving the
They
team.
work great together, but they're also like this at the exact same time.
'cause they-
where sometimes the
Yeah.
pieces fit together, and then a lot of times they're bumping into each other at the same
but they
time.
always fit together to survive. They're all good.
No
at
matter what, they
surviving,
have each other's
and-
back.
Yeah, they do,
Yeah.
and it's shown so much in
Just
this
like in a
one.
kitchen. Well, at least
Yeah.
some kitchens out there.
It's true.
But I like these low-level superheroes that I relate to.
Low rent.
Well, they are pirates. And Dirty guy I worked with at DB's,
Oh yeah, dirt.
he always said that kitchen crews are like pirates. Basically, the pirates of
You
the.
never
Yeah.
understand the culture, like outside of like.
At least back in the day, kitchen shit.
I remember
Tattoos,
there's like a
piercings,
meme of like
whatever.
Fry or
Bandanas.
somebody.
Badass jokes.
Fry or somebody listening, like I'm not
tough
sure if the
stuff.
kitchen crew wants to kill each other or if they're like actually friends.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah, that's what I miss about the old school kitchen stuff. But back to the movie. Are we done? Dude, there's a lot of credit scenes.
Yeah. There's at
There's
least
5, I think.
4, 5. Yeah. So what was the first one that you can recall?
That was a quick
Kraglin
one.
with the arrow.
Shit.
I think
Yeah.
it's- Oh,
He's
yeah,
whist-
at least that's one of them.
Yeah,
Yep, he's
when he stabs
practicing.
Drax.
He stabs Drax. He just yells.
Just runs away.
He just sneaks away.
Yeah,
just runs away.
the Sylvester Stallone one, where
Yep.
he reassembles
Yep,
his
the-
team.
Yeah.
Which I like that one. They were supposed to
those-
get their
and there was
own
the-
little thing. They were
yeah.
supposed to.
The gold.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely. It seemed like there was a plan that fell
yeah.
through.
I wonder if maybe that's a holiday
Rambo
one.
Last Blood.
Maybe that's the holiday special that's supposed to come out in December.
Oh, maybe they'll get
That'd be
that.
dope.
That'd be fun.
But then there was the gold lady.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's Adam
When
Warlock's
they introduced
birthing
Adam.
pod.
Yep, Adam Warlock.
Okay.
Which we saw originally in the Collector's Collection
Yeah,
and the first
Yeah.
Guardians.
yeah.
It
Okay.
was Thor.
Yeah, it was
Thor
either Thor when you see the
credit
collector
scene.
when they're given the Tesseract to
Yep.
the Dark
Yeah.
World
Yep.
or
Yeah.
the Ether.
Thor Dark. Oh, Ether. It was
I'm trying to
Thor
remember what
Dark
they're
World.
giving. Yeah, they're giving the Ether to
Because
the
they said
Yeah.
we don't want 2 Infinity Stones next to
Yeah.
each other.
There's that one. There's
Groot as a teenager.
Groot as a teenager.
Clean up your room.
Oh yeah.
Keep tripping over your vines.
Just playing those mindless video games.
I am not
great.
boring.
I like.
Great. Now I know how
Now I know
Yondu
what
feels.
Zonder. Yondu. Yeah.
Good, go ahead. Stop trying to call him Xander.
Yes.
was-
Where is this Xander coming from?
He can't go down to Y in the alphabet. He keeps stopping at X.
You get them mixed up.
Xander. I am Xander.
Okay.
Xander's usually spelled with an X, so I don't know if you're trying to one up me on that one or what.
I was just trying to sound stupid like Groot. Oh, I did really like how the raccoon,
Rocket.
the garbage,
The trash panda.
Trash
rocket,
Panda.
the trash
Is that better?
panda.
Oh, is that better?
It's so
Way
much
worse. So much worse. I did like how he had like cool reactive conversations with the Groot. Like, I am Groot, and he'd be like, "What the fuck?" And
That's why you don't like
having
hats?
this Full-on conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was when they were locked up. Yeah, or something like that.
It's like, oh, this
They
isn't
really
gonna go well.
fleshed out Groot. They really fleshed out Groot a little
I
bit
am
more
Groot.
with that.
When he's running away from Yondu, he's
That's
like,
why you
after
don't
he's
like
like,
hats?
we really got to talk about your language.
That's yeah. Except he didn't use
Right.
the word freaking.
Yeah.
He didn't say freaking.
I liked when they're explaining the button.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
like,
This one.
you do this,
No,
do
you
this,
just-
do this, and then you push this button. Not this button. This will explode immediately. We
Why
don't
would you
want to
put
do
button
that.
On there would
Yeah.
be my question.
Now explain what I just said. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. No, that's exactly what I told you not to do. It's like, do it again. I am Groot. I am Groot. No, you just said the same thing.
Right?
Right.
Anybody
this
got any
movie had
tape?
one of the.
I love when you hear Quill ask.
Oh my
When
god,
you hear
that was
ask Drax,
hilarious.
he's like, "Oh yeah, Scotch tape
Yep.
will work." Well, why didn't you ask me if Scotch tape would work
Yeah.
if you didn't have any tape?
Nobody has any tape. Did you ask Nebula? She was no. Oh yeah. It's like, did you or are you lying? She was right there when I asked Drax. It's like, what?
That was such
Yeah.
a
It's
funny
like nobody
moment.
has tape. It's like, do you have tape? Well, that's the point. I have to do everything. You're wasting a lot of time
Yeah,
right now. I love that.
That
I
shit.
thought that was great.
I loved it. I loved it because growing up watching action movies, there's always in the middle of explosions and gunfire. There's always a moment where the guy and the lady, or like the lead person and someone, they sit down in the middle of it all and they have like an exposition dump.
Yeah.
But they just like, you know, they just carry
we'll
on
do
with the
this,
story
then that,
and
and
information
then that,
on
and then we'll be
that.
able to go on to that move.
So it felt like a joke on that. Like, we can all just sit and talk to each other for 15 minutes in the middle of this.
And once
fucking
again, this is
apocalypse.
exactly how a line works too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, I can't argue with that one.
Oh shit!
But yeah, the third act in this movie was one of the funnest, most entertaining endings to a movie, and especially Marvel shit. It was funny.
How'd you
action-packed.
like about the big reveal?
Big reveal. That
You mean
that
Kurt Russell?
Peter's the battery, or what?
Well,
What big
that-
reveal? I've
That Peter
Yeah, I don't
is
think it was
that he's part God, and that
Oh,
I guess Kurt Russell killed his mom and all that. Like,
put the tumor.
just how do you like about that? Because that's
I'm a tumor,
really
I'm
the
a tumor.
biggest reveal that we have. That was the whole point of this movie is you find out Peter Quill is half God.
I'm
God.
glad it was taken away from him
Celestial.
at the end of the movie because I didn't care about it at the time he had his short-lived powers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I mean, it doesn't.
Like, that's why.
It serves the purpose of making his sacrifice when he actually kills Ego that much more. It antes up a little bit because
Okay.
Kurt Russell even says like if you kill me, you'll be just like everybody else, and it shows
Yeah.
that like Peter
And-
is at that point where like he accepts the fact that maybe he doesn't need a blood dad
That's-
when he's got family. It ratchets.
That's the sacrifice moment.
The epiphany.
That hit.
Yeah, it serves that purpose at the very least. Other than that, it's a pretty nondescript
I
sort
would
of
call it-
plot point.
I would call what Aaron just said the big reveal, not Kurt Russell's whatever the fuck you said.
That he killed his mom and told him that he's part God.
Yeah. Yeah, just seen it coming.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think that's what disconnected me all those times. Because even still now,
We knew more than the characters as the audience.
well, we did. That's true. But I don't know. It just seemed kind of like a cop-out. I don't want
Yeah.
to discredit anything to James Gunn. It's just, it seemed like an easy way out kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But-
Like this whole like, I'm going to spread myself over the universe so I can be the universe. Whatever. This just seems like a very generic plot
I want to
point.
rule the world kind of concept.
Yeah, it's a very generic like thrust
want
of the
you-
movie to like just to further other pieces of it. Like
Yeah.
this whole bit, other than it being the fact that Kurt Russell is playing the character and whatever, I think it really matters very little in
Yeah.
the scheme of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think James Gunn just wanted to play with a planet as a end boss. He likes big
Blobby
blobby
things.
monsters
Oh, yeah.
to fight. So this is his
Nice.
way to make that work. I think he cared more about having that big
A
planet
big blob.
as the enemy more than the fucking backstory.
He just really loves
True.
CGI.
He does like blobby things. He likes overly sized blobby things.
Even there was like a blob that started taking over a world or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's Ego like
Oh,
spreading
that-
his essence.
Yeah.
Oof,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a
from the
sentence I
other
don't want to ever
things.
have to say again.
Yeah.
He spread a seed.
Yeah. It was a very thin.
Traveled 500
plot.
miles to bring you my seed.
It was hard to connect with, but being a James Gunn fan and all the blob stuff, I laughed
Yeah.
at.
I will say if it wasn't
Because even the brain.
if it wasn't for James Gunn and his writing, and if it wasn't for everything else that James Gunn has put in there, that would have bothered me a lot more than it did. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I think it's what I realized this time around is I accepted it, but before I had this resistance towards it. I just didn't want to accept how much of a cop out that seemed, how easy it just seemed. Oh, he's a god. There's a god. We get it. It's a evil guy wants to rule the world concept.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Like I say, it's just a generic one to like have a plot that they have to foil.
Yeah.
Essentially.
But if they didn't have all the other things that were like wrapped around that were being revealed.
Yeah.
Like the gold people.
Well, if you didn't have Mantis or the father-son dynamic for Quill,
Yeah.
you know,
Nebula
there was
and
a lot
Gamora's
going on.
yeah.
revelation.
If you didn't have any of those things, this movie would have fallen on its fucking face with that
Yeah.
fucking plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of plate spinning.
Yeah, there's a lot of plates spinning in this movie. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, because we haven't even talked about the gold people.
The Sovereign.
Like the battery. The Sovereign, yeah.
They're a
do you wanna
secondary
talk about?
villain that don't matter a whole lot.
They're basically China.
No. I'm just saying they're another... they're fucking constant, I don't know, beauty pageants. I don't know, I hate them motherfuckers. They're annoying.
Well, they're all engineered to be perfect the way they are.
But them playing video games are.
I did
dying
love the
off
video
as
game
if they were
sounds
playing-
as they were
Yeah.
highlighting the ships.
That joke was pretty funny.
That was good.
Simulator type warfare.
Damn it.
Remind me of Toys.
Oh, God, you lost. You're
And then
useless, like usual.
They all
Suck,
they all
Xylac.
gather up to watch the final guy.
Yeah, Xylac, I think his
play.
name was.
And then they all give him like boost of
this.
confidence until he dies, and then they just turn
Yep.
on him right away, like, "Oh, you fucking worthless piece of shit."
Yo. You're the runt.
That's about all I got to say about the gold people, but it just made me realize that this movie has a lot going on, and for it all to come together makes it a good
I will
movie.
say I did like the beginning of
together at
this
the
film because of that whole introduction of
Car.
they're just saving the batteries for these people. They steal it, and Rocket steals them.
Yeah.
But he also has Star-Lord's back. Like when they insult him,
Yeah.
straight to his face, and Rocket's like, "Oh, I heard you
Yeah.
guys were a bunch of fucking assholes," and I just didn't believe it was to be true.
This is that weird dynamic where like Rocket will push everyone away from him, but at the same time, like you can tell he
Yeah.
feels some connection.
Yeah.
And that's the setup. That's really what the Sovereign serve is to catapult
Yeah.
Rocket's character arc a little
There
bit.
it is. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you start to see the banter between in the ship as they're crashing and all that, and how it reflects both of them
Yeah.
with the whole big dick contest, and yet they got each other's back. Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah. There's no question there. But yeah, it's the getting old. I don't know.
It's a
There's trust
brotherly
issues and all
relationship
that shit.
because it's constant
So
one-upmanship.
I'm so excited for Volume 3 because they're gonna be like hugging each other all the time. Pearl Jam high five. It's gonna be fucking amazing.
I'm curious. I'm really, really, really curious on what's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah. I'm curious who's the villain in Volume 3? Do we know?
I don't think we know.
Yeah.
Only thing I need to know and do know is that James Gunn has creative freedom. So
Yeah.
Legit. I mean, we know they're
Directing and
bringing Adam
writing.
Warlock into this one, so
so
Yeah.
there's that.
And I do know that the only thing I've heard is that
Yeah.
somebody's gonna die.
oh yeah.
That's
Somebody already has.
well, James Gunn basically said like,
Are you talking about our moms?
James Gunn has said that this is the last Guardians of the Galaxy you're gonna get, and that basically there's gonna be a death
Yeah.
finale or something like that. So
Oh, well.
It's probably gonna be Drax because
that's what I was thinking.
he doesn't want to be in it. He's
Yeah.
publicly spoken.
Yeah, he's publicly said he doesn't want to do it anymore, which okay.
I mean,
Whatever.
I don't want
I
to
think
get
three's
typecast
a
either,
good-
so.
Yeah, but this also saved his
But to
career.
work with James Gunn, yeah.
So I would
know.
think I would have a little bit of an appreciation for what was given to me and hold on to that, but apparently 7 years is too long to have that appreciation.
To each their
Yeah,
own.
yeah,
To
yeah,
each their own.
Did you have a favorite part?
I really enjoyed when Rocket got excited about but they're not gonna know where their eye is in the morning.
The same with the leg.
Like the way he finds this terrible practical joke, fucking so hilarious. Cracks
Somebody
me up
else's
so much.
suffrage.
And it all leads to the next door
It's not
movie,
even.
but it's fucking.
It's not even a suffrage. It's a insignificant problem. It's just a. It's just a
Exactly.
problem where they wake up and go, "Oh shit! Well, this is gonna suck." But that's about it.
It's
just like
cracks
a-
me up so much.
It's true because he did the same thing with the leg. Oh my god! You took the leg? I don't need
I'm gonna
that.
need that guy's
Yep.
leg.
What was his face like?
His way of fucking with people is so not right.
Yeah.
That shit makes me laugh as hard as I am right now every time. Well, I guess I've only seen it twice, but
Yeah.
Favorite part? Oh shit! I really got into the emotional parts, like the scene where Drax is sitting on the steps with Mantis, and he's talking about how the fountains remind him of being, taking his daughter to swim in the forgotten pools or whatever.
Yep.
That bit between him and her, like their development of their relationship, I was in for. The ending with Yondu's death and then its subsequent funeral. I thought that whole thing that had me tearing up, especially when you see all the other Ravagers show up and start firing off the fireworks, and
I
you get that
definitely teared up a
little
bit
blip
about
from Rocket. And he's like, they all came back, even though he was mean and yelled and pushed everyone away. And then he's like, and he stole batteries that he didn't need.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's the reason why they showed up, because he sent the signal.
Yeah.
Or the information.
well, he's just amazed at how they showed up for him, and because he says like Rocket and Yondu were the same. So like,
that serves
Yeah.
two purposes. It inspires.
because he
Rocket
says that
and
line. He's like,
gives the blue guy.
he's like, even though he stole batteries he didn't need, and then like Quill looks at him, he's like, well, of course. And you get that just that little bit of like familial like bond between the two of them.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a good scene. That
whole thing.
Scavenger or Ravager's death or whatever.
The Ravager
Even
funeral. And the Cat Stevens
even the
song
blue
fucking
guys.
gutted me for some
It
reason.
nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It nailed it.
Oh, the music
Once again, the music. I was going to bring that up.
just as good as the first. I mean, it's an obvious no-brainer, unanimously loved.
I don't know, but I feel like there's more in this one. I feel like we
for
got
sure.
more different songs in this one than we did the first
It definitely seems to
I felt that way as well, even if it's two more than the first.
it definitely
just
seemed
seemed
to
like we had a
jump
lot more.
in like significance too, because I mean they were jumping from like, the kids are all right to like there was Sam Cooke was in there, it's Cat
Yep.
Stevens. Like,
Yeah.
it was a broader spectrum, it seemed.
Yep,
than the
Fleetwood
first
Mac.
one.
Yeah, Sam Cooke's a deep dive.
Yeah.
I really thought the Fleetwood Mac song was really appropriate.
Yeah.
Once again, though, it's James Gunn finding the right song for the right moment. I'm
Yeah.
if I ever became a bazillionaire, I'm hiring him for my wedding DJ. He'll just write the soundtrack to my wedding.
You would have to pay him $1 billion.
Well, I'd be a bazillionaire, so.
And maybe give him your pinky so he can hold it up to his
Speaking
butt.
of Peaky, that's probably my favorite scene was when Yondu and Rocket are in the cell and Groot is like comes up so just like defeated. He's just so sad face. He's like, "Oh, what'd they do to you?"
Oh my god.
He just-
They were pouring liquor and shit all over him.
Yeah.
This squishy jumpsuit he's wearing. The
He basically
overalls,
looked like a
fucking-
guy or like a kid who went to go play basketball with like high school kids, and he's in middle school, and then
Yeah,
they picked on him, and then he had to walk home in shame, kind of thing. Like,
He looked like Happy Gilmore when Shooter McGavin played the sprinkler prank on him when he was walking back, just less angry.
what I liked about that scene
Barely Charlie
was
Brown.
where they convinced him to go grab the prototype, the Finn,
Yeah.
which is the original in the comic
Yeah.
books. That's what Yondu originally
they
has.
just
is
fucking
a
joke
mohawk.
after joke.
The toe?
Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
referencing?
it is the toe.
And
It's like, please tell me you have a bucket of toes or severed limbs around there or something.
Like, we're
No, we
we're
did
just not
not.
going to talk about that.
Ooh,
Never
Never
sore
going to talk
subject.
about this again.
Yeah. Can we agree we're just not going to talk about this again?
That's a desk. That's an eye. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Joke after joke.
This is what I
That was
mean,
good.
though, by I said this in the first one, that Groot becomes funny and like funnier in
Yeah.
this one, and he's so cute and adorable. He's just a little baby Groot. He's growing up.
And the last movie, he was the goddamn hero that saved everybody, and made that sacrifice and survived. So like, his likability is through the roof. So he can do whatever, be as silly as fuck, and we're all gonna love it. But yeah, they use that so perfectly, and the setup and
I love to create that family dynamic too.
smart.
To concrete that family dynamic, that when you see Baby Groot come up on Quill's leg, he's listening to headphones, and then he shares a headphone with
Yeah.
Groot, and then
They very much like developed the dynamic of they know how to deal with a child, because like there's constant moments where like when the back is shot off the ship and like someone's flying around, Gamora catches or someone catches him and like just holds him like it's nothing. Like this is just part of the day.
They're used to passing him around. Like even in the beginning credit scene or in the beginning of the movie, his dance sequence. Like, you know, when they're fighting that big blob in the beginning of the movie.
And he's chasing those little rat rodent things from the first film.
The rat lizards.
They know to stop in and check on him. And when they do see him, they check on him, even if it's accidentally that check
like
on
when
him.
Drax is thrown like right next to him.
And they pass him around the ship. Like, I noticed that as well. Yeah.
And I think that that just puts another dynamic, because it's like there's a child amidst them. And
so they have to work together in that format
when they're about to crash,
which is also a very chaotic thing.
When they're about to crash, she's like, "Buckle in, Groot."
Yep,
they're going in for a hard crash.
And I think they all fully understand him and his language at this point.
Yeah.
Right? They all respond to him.
Yeah.
Opposed to the first movie when they were like, "What? That's all he says," and only Rocket understood him. I believe in the first one. Yeah.
I am not boring.
And then.
Even though, I think Peter and Rocket are really the only two that converse with him. Like Drax really doesn't.
In the first one?
No,
in this one.
Drax really doesn't even talk to him. And I think the one thing Gamora says to Groot is, "We'll be back in a couple days. Like you won't even know. We'll be back before Rocket's done finishing the ship." And that's the only real dialogue you have other than Peter talking to him or Rocket talking to him.
But they all seem to have
they have an understanding. I think because of closeness.
I am Groot. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He was so damn adorable. Big ol' eyes.
Well, yeah, they had to make something they could, sell a toy of.
The card.
Yeah. Well, and like I said,
Yeah.
this is like Baby Yoda was probably inspired by Baby Groot.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
And I'm
it's
a
not like they
sucker for
didn't.
both of them.
Is Baby Groot even a comic book character, or is it a James or
Couldn't tell you.
James Gunn
I
created
don't know anything
character?
about the Groot character.
I didn't read a lot of Guardians, so I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that comic did shit, and we probably talked about it in Volume 1 episode. Never
You
mind.
tried to use the same thing for Doctor Strange, and you failed.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I know you're not wrong.
Well, that is all I have to say, I guess.
That's
Yeah,
all
I
I
think
got to
we're
say too.
Right at the end there.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, it's another fanboy.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
It was a great. I
Banter fans.
how many stars would you give this one?
4.5.
Right on.
Yeah, 4.
I mean, there were a couple things that I didn't care for, but I mean, like overall, it was a damn good movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have to give it same 4.5. It's really tough to not give it a 5, but it wasn't like it was a perfect film.
Right.
But it's close enough.
Yeah, I give it that.
Cool. Well, that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And
And next up we have Spider-Man. Homecoming?
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
Homecoming.
Homecoming. And then
Thor.
Thor.
Definitely wasn't Ragnarok, this one or next one. I got it wrong. And that's why I know Tim wasn't wrong earlier.
So yeah, we'll watch Spider-Man, and then we'll talk about that next time. So thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Catch you next
All right.
time.
Peace.
Bye. Hurt feelings make me laugh.
Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to check us out. Jason, where can we be heard?
I don't know, Tim. Where can we be heard?
Let me tell you where we can be heard. You can find us on all the other platforms that you will find podcasts, like iTunes and Amazon Music.
All them places you find all your favorite and popular podcasts.
Yes, Spotify.
That's where I listen to podcasts. And nowadays, you can rate your podcast on there. Go ahead and give us 5 stars on Spotify or any other platform you listen to your favorite podcast on.
And Spotify.
If you want to watch us, you can find us on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Give it a share. You got to comment. All the algorithm stuff. It helps.
And if you want to comment on how bad and terrible we are doing or how ugly we look, just send us an email at bnbbanterbros@gmail.com.
And that's A-N-D, you said, between the B's?
A-N-D in between the B. You could also check us out on the multiple social platforms that consume everybody's life, like the YouTube, the Twitch, the Twitter, the TikTokity, and the Instagrammy, including Facebook. So please, come check us out. We'll catch you next time.